Hello everybody, we are the Poly Pedals team. So we'd like to introduce ourselves, starting with Brendan.
Brendan.
I'm Rosie.
Ryan.
Neil.
Riley.
Nicole.
Zach.
Chris.
Simon.
And I'm Victor. I just wanted to give you a little insight on kind of the beginning stages of what Poly Pedals is about, how we came up with the idea, and then we'll go over our performance-wise in the back end. So first I want to kind of introduce the actual product. We created bike pedals with LED lighting inside of it with a wood aesthetic on top. So let me demo it for you guys. I know all of you have seen it already. But you guys can see, wooden pedal, spins, and it has the LED lights on it. I don't know if you guys have all seen it. And just kind of go about how we got there. We kind of gathered all together in our first week or week and a half of brainstorming. We came up with great ideas. Most of our ideas obviously got shut down, but we all found like a main interest we had, and it was related around bikes. So Brendan works at a bike, Slime, which does like bike tire testing and stuff. And Nicole loves riding her bike around. And have you seen her bike? It's actually pretty cool. But going on to the product features, so we want our main three features to be comfort and safety, and obviously ergonomic, so it looks good. So we'll talk about that for a little bit later on. But basically our mission was to dedicate ourselves to engineering and distribute this sleek bike pedal with LED lights. And the added value was added safety and visibility on the road at night and comfort. And a quick overview we're going to go over. We're going to go over the production video. We're going to go over performance goals for sales, efficiency, and manufacturing, how we did in that stage. We're going to reflect on the lessons learned throughout this quarter and see what we've learned and see where our shortcomings were. And then we're going to go to potential growth opportunities, see what kind of scale-up opportunities we do have with this product. And then we'll have suggestions on improvement, and then our final thoughts to wrap it up. And then this is our video that Neil produced, and you guys can take a look at our manufacturing process. Hardest part of the project.
Not that we didn't need the drama, but
She tries something new.
Yes, you're right. 100%.
Got the club going up. Tuesday, got your girl in the club.
This is a Tuesday.
This was Tuesday. Tuesday, got your girl in the club. She Tuesday, club going up. On Tuesday, got your girl in the club. She Tuesday, club going up. On a Tuesday, got your girl in the club. She Tuesday,
Squad going up. Nobody flipping now. I just did 3 in a row. Them shows is back to back to back now. Put the world on a sound. You know, party in the weekend. Ain't got no mother time. The party on the weekend. Tell Jello bring the juice. We about to get lit. I feel the warm up with some things. One night off and this is it. Always working overtime. Only time out of time. It's crazy about now. It kills me that I'm not around. I think we getting too deep. I'm talking might be too true. Upstairs, I got in the Advil bottle. I don't take it, what you do. So I got them for you. I don't need the pills. I'm just gonna have another drink. And when I'm putting working on the weekend, I look back on this and think how we had the club going up.
on a Tuesday, got your girl in the cut. She Tuesday, club going up. On a Tuesday, got your girl in the cut. She Tuesday, club going up. On a Tuesday, got your girl in the cut. She Tuesday, club going up. On a Tuesday, got your girl in the cut. She Tuesday, working Monday night. On the corner flipping, made at least 3,000 on the boulevard.
That's our video. So we'll get into our actual lessons learned and everything, and our production and our goals, see if we met them or not, coming up in the next slides.
so you got like 5 minutes left. Right?
Yeah. It's ready. Just go ahead.
All right, so for performance goals, a little bit of what we did was we're aiming for 100 pedals, so 50 sets. And what kind of happened was, by the end, we were, during our production, we had a lot of scrap coming through, and we kind of messed up a few parts, and we ended up with only 42 pedals. And at the beginning, we aimed to sell about $70 per pedal set, but by the end, the actual material going into the pedal only cost us about $45. But with all the prototyping and drill bits and milling parts that we needed to continue buying, it ended up being around 70, and like to make up for those other 8 pedals that we couldn't sell, we had to sell them at 100. So it made it very difficult. And putting into the project, we guessed about 2,500, but we ended up spending a total of 3,700. So, and we're still making our sales and trying to get that all back.
We also have the goals to make a product that actually serves a purpose, not something that'll just sit on a shelf. So we wanted them to add aesthetic value, so they look all modern with the wood lacquer and be comfortable. And we also wanted them to improve safety on the road at night with the LED pedals. And we think we did that because you can see better with them on. Like we tested it out with Nicole and had her go long, and you could really see her. And we've tested them out with bare feet, socks, whatever, super comfy. We're also really proud of this product. I mean, as you saw, there's a lot that went into it, and it really drained us, but we're really proud of the pedal that came out.
So, reflecting on the course, IT407 has taught us how to basically run a small business, from the product brainstorming to designing our product, and then manufacturing it in low quantities, and then finally packaging and selling it. It really took us through the whole business cycle process. We also learned how to work as a team to get not only our production goals, but production approval and our stage gate sign-offs and all the deliverables of the course done within the short time frame of an 11-week quarter. So.
We also learned that to estimate the final cost, there's some changes that would come that we couldn't account for, so we had to learn to account for those. We had to use about 60% more aluminum. We also had to, because we revised our prototype about 10 times, we also had to do all of our wood cutting outsourced, so that increased, that doubled production cost. And moving components are extremely tricky, so we don't suggest those for this course. We ended up we didn't have tricordial tool pathing in Delcam, so we had to outsource the optimization of our CNC codes.
So opportunities for scale up. We had a couple of people throughout the project contact us that were interested in helping us scale the project up. First was Rainbow, who was the source of our spindles, which was from China. And she offered to, basically, because they produce bike pedals, that's why she was able to get us the spindles for so cheap. And she basically offered to just help us make a business out of it and produce a pedal for real. And then at the farmer's market, we had Dave, who's the owner of Synergy Suspension, which is an off-road suspension manufacturing plant here in Slow. And he was very interested in the product and the fact that he actually thought we were mechanical engineers. But he was very interested, and he said if we had any opportunity for scale-up and we were interested, that we should definitely contact him.
And so this obviously creates an opportunity for us to sell these at a cheaper price, because the $100 price tag was definitely kind of hard for us to say to people when they were really stoked out about the product. So if we were to scale this up and send it out to somebody who has the tools, has the machines, and can do it faster and with better quality machinery and tooling, we would definitely be able to reduce our price, and we could sell them at a little bit more palatable price.
So after doing this project, looking back on it, we definitely had some areas where we could improve. The first, probably biggest one, would be extruding the aluminum pedal out of, extruding it instead of purely machining it. That would cut down a lot of the machining and wasted material that we're cutting out instead of flat stock. Secondly, we would want to maybe find a substitute for wood, which would lower costs and it'd be a little bit easier to work with. We wouldn't have to outsource the CNC. We could probably do it in-house.
We also wanted to do decreased prototype expenses, which would be for cheaper materials that we might use for if we were going to scale up, and to do more research on other materials to use other than what we came up with. So that'd be another option.
So overall, with the facilities that we were given, you guys all saw what we were given and had to deal with it. What we came up with, we felt best exceeded or met the goals of the class, which was to come up with the small business startup and with possibility of expansion, and tackle complex business or complex problems. Anyone else? Final thoughts?
I mean, I just definitely think that this is a class that really, you go through IT and you learn all these things like step by step, and you finally get to a place where you have to recall. I mean, Riley like phenomenally handled our electronics, and I can tell you that I would not have been able to remembering 150. So it kind of just makes you sit down and say, hold on a second, I actually did learn this and I can apply it. I just have to actually try. I think this class definitely gave us all the opportunity to do that, and then to be able to showcase it to other people and say, look how awesome our degree is. That's really awesome.
Okay. Other questions from the class?
You guys talked about scaling up a little bit. Do you have like a price estimate of how much it would cost you guys to make them if you were to scale them up?
We don't.
Okay.
We never really got a concrete answer from Rainbow because we never really pursued it. Because at this point we're all pretty over making bike pedals.
Yeah.
Another thing was that we couldn't really show her anything that we were doing because in China they'll just steal it.
Right.
Make it for themselves. So we were really wary about like calendar.
The only real thing we know is that our prototyping cost is about a third of what we spent on the actual production. So if you take that away, we're ballpark around $60 to $70 to sell, which would be a good price point for us.
So if you guys aren't going to sort of do this as a business, have you ever thought about just giving it away, just so that someday you're walking down the street and there's a 4-year-old kid?
Oh, the discussion is still up in the air right now between us. Just different schedules, people are graduating. We got 10 people in our group. We got to decide. It's a process, so we'll get there eventually.
Okay. All right, good job. We need to get you off.